Stepped on the scene, dripped in saline. Whole crew shining, call me Mr. Clean. Came in from the back, walked right to the front. Dancing to the music, smoking on the. Got the women smiling, punk grilling me, looking all dusty. Black Force energy, I don't even drink, but the team pop bottles. Not here for the beef, but the Glock holds hollows. Think I'm cocky, but I think I'm worse. In this flexing like a Mr. Universe.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros. Were you impressed with Tim Tszyu's victory over Brian Mendoza? I'm turning over to Conspiracy G.
I
G said we're talking about real boxing now.
Yeah, with all due respect, no disrespect to my man Tim, but I wasn't impressed at all. And here's why. Like, he kind of I shouldn't even say this because I feel like this is disrespect, but he kind of reminds me of Triple G if Triple G didn't have power. You know what I mean? Like, the reason why I say this is because he has great punch selection, right? Like, he landed like some pretty impressive shots on Brian Mendoza. He uses different angles, all kind of stuff. And he lands a lot of his power punches. You can tell he's really putting everything into them punches. But Mendoza was eating them like Scooby snacks. And I'm like, yo, fam, like, if you're landing that many punches, that guy has to get knocked out, or at least get dropped or something. Like, how is Mendoza making it to final bell? And not to discredit Mendoza at all, like, obviously he's a warrior, but the shots that Tim landed several hooks to the body, several uppercuts to the chin, and that dude Mendoza was still walking around like, yo, we could keep going. So I kind of feel like with Tim, he just doesn't have the power. And on top of the power situation, he's not as fast as Mendoza. So when I'm watching Tim, I was like envisioning how Tim would perform against Charlo. And I was like, I don't know, man, because although Charlo wet the bed against Canelo, you know what I mean? I don't think what Tim is the power that Tim has and the speed that he has, I don't think it's gonna do much damage. He's not a major threat to Charlo. So I was like, you know what? He's cool. But when I'm thinking a champion, you know what I mean, in a division, I don't see Tim like that. And it's no disrespect. It's just the performance was lackluster. And I just feel like, I don't know, he needs to go back to the gym, lift some weights or something. Like, he has to figure out. I don't know what it is. Like, you know what I mean? But I'm like, there's no way a guy can land that many punches, power shots. You know what I mean? It's not like, I'm not like talking about the jab. I'm talking about hooks and uppercuts. And my man's just like, oh, that's all you got? You know what I mean? I think when was it? I think maybe round 11 he dropped Mendoza. I can't remember. You know what I mean? Was it round 11? Maybe. But like, that's the only time he really did like real damage to my man.
No, he didn't drop Mendoza, I don't think, at all.
Yeah, I could have sworn in 11. He hurt Mendoza.
No, he hurt. He had, I think it was round 7. He had like a really
it was
good
one
round.
of them rounds. He like actually hurt him. You know what I mean?
I don't think he went down though, but you could have gave it a 10-8 round. He did have like.
So I'm thinking, all right, maybe this dude isn't as bad. But then as the rounds is going, you're like, yo, come on, bro. Like, get this guy up out of here. So I don't know. I just feel like he's like a poor man's Triple G.
All right, Ned, the TBE.
Boxing is the sweet science, and the method is hit and not get hit. G, I'm appalled by you getting on here talking about he has no power. When one of your favorite fighters has no power, and when you practice the sweet science, you understand this guy is talented. He can throw punches, and he's not. Go ahead, G.
All right. Not every fighter has power per se, but where they lack in power, they make up in other things like speed, timing, footwork, like IQ. You know what I mean? Like they make up in other spaces.
Call out names,
Yeah,
TBE.
Tim ain't doing that, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
Call out
So,
names,
Yo,
TBE.
G, he's not the
Nobody
greatest.
G like got no power, TBE.
You know that boy Haney, boy, ain't got no power. No power. Horsepower on 0. But let's go. Like what he did last night, like Mayweather he showed the sweet science of boxing where he would hit and not get hit.
Lightly, dog. Mayweather had power. Don't you disrespect?
Yeah, he had power, but
look at what he did to Victor Ortiz.
Yes, he would have outboxed.
Clean knockout.
He would outbox his opponents like crazy. And Tim Tszyu, he's not no Mayweather, but he outboxed Mendoza and he did what he needed to do. Just he didn't get the knockout. He didn't look sloppy. He didn't look bad. He didn't look bad. He didn't look terrible in this fight. So for you to sit there and say you wanted the knockout, you wanted the fans to just want blood. You just want blood. Kill him! Kill him! Kill him! That's all G screaming in the crib right now.
It makes no sense. You
all right,
just
so
said,
hold on, G. Ask him the real question, G. See, you be messing around. You need to ask this question. So are you saying that Tim Tszyu is a talented, skilled fighter that you believe can beat Jamel Charlo and can beat Terrence Bud Crawford?
he's asking you, bro.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I just said G. All right, but yeah, I feel he could beat Charlo, but I think he might slip up against Bud because Bud, what he did to my boy Spence is crazy, dog. I still can't believe it because I had the whole pony riding on Spence still, but you know it is what it is. We move on from that. But when it comes to boxing, just because fighters don't knock a fighter out, if they don't look bad in a fight and they box Bud, they go 12 rounds, they don't look bruised up in the face, they're not sweating. It's like it's cool, it's good. That's what boxing is. You come in, you do it. It's an easy night on the job. Like you don't want to go through a war every day. That takes wear and tear on your body. What Tim Tszyu did last night against a Brian Mendoza, I don't even know who Brian Mendoza is. I'm not gonna lie, but Tim Tszyu did his job and he did it well. But we're not gonna
criticize. Mendoza's a good opponent, by the way. He's the one who beat Sebastian Fundora. He's the one who beat Sebastian Fundora, the 6'6", 150.
He knocked out a giraffe
with the left hook.
Fundora got knocked out because his legs gave out. Because you know giraffes, like you hit him on the. It's like that, yo. You ain't never seen that? Like, yo, watch the history. Watch the National Geographic channel. That
you reckless, dog.
you picture giraffe right here, they know they got to fall over. So that's why he clipped him right there and he fell over. So it is what it is. But I ain't mad at this victory. This victory was all right. It's not the greatest win of all time. His opponent wasn't the greatest, but it was a good victory. And he showed poise. He showed his skill. He showed his IQ. He showed everything he needed to do besides the knockout. But geez, stop acting like boxing's a blood sport. It's a sweet science. It's a gentleman's sport. And we don't go in there and just try to beat up each other and then come home with black eyes and swollen lips.
Dollar bills.
Why not? Listen, the kid Tim Tszyu, he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. He's beating up and knocking out all the guys that they put in front of him. That's all you can ask for the kid. He's making a name for himself as being that guy at 154. You got the Erison Lubins, you had the Fondoras, and you know what I'm saying, you had these guys, and he's the one that's still standing, knocking everybody out. The Mendoza victory to me is a good victory because Fondora was knocking everybody out. And I know he had the tough fight with Lubin. I wish he would have took more time before he went in there with Brian, because I think a little bit of that effects that he had from Lubin trickled on to the Mendoza fight. And that's probably why, but you know, there's no excuses in boxing, but just doing my eye test. But yeah, Tim Tszyu, man. I mean, listen, it's been documented. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got beef with Tim's daddy since 2001. We all know what happened. You know, I'm gonna let the beef go. You know, his son didn't have nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm not mad at him. And as far as Jermell Charlo, he's actually making the claim like he's the best 154 pounder. And Jermell did such a they trying to say he did such a bad job against Canelo that Tim Tszyu don't even want to fight Jermell no more. He want to fight Canelo. He's like, I would do a better showing than he did. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I don't even want those belts. You know what I'm saying? But we gonna see, because I think that fight is definitely a fight that needs to take place. You know what I'm saying? Sooner than later. Not TC and Jermell. I think Tim Tszyu and Jermell, because Tim's been waiting patiently. You know what I'm saying? So he deserves that shot for them to get it on, and then whatever holds. But shout out to Tim Tszyu. You know what I'm saying? No beef with you. You know what I'm saying? Still got beef with your pops though. 2001. I hold grudges.
All right, so out of the gate, man, I just want to say, I'm gonna say Tim Tszyu. I got people in the comment section like, and all of y'all are giving me a different pronunciation, by the way. So it seems like it's not as simple as y'all are making it seem. So I'm gonna say Tim Tszyu. Here's a few things. I'm gonna start off with what I like about Tim Tszyu. I think he has really good punch selection, as G said. I think in the moment he selects the right punches. He takes calculated risk. And I do like his offensive IQ. I think it's very good. He has good timing. I like his offensive work. The other thing I like about Tim Tszyu is he understands his pace. And I feel like Mendoza took some of the early rounds from Tim Tszyu, but it was because he was working at a very high pace. And Tim Tszyu said, okay, I'm going to stick with my pace. I'm not going to try to match his pace. And what you saw later on in the fight was Mendoza slowed down significantly, and Tim Tszyu was able to dominate and then just break him down. And it became obvious as the rounds went on who was the better fighter in the ring. So I really like that. He understands his pace. I feel like a lot of boxers, when they lose 2, even 3 rounds of someone trying to pace set, they start upping their pace. And that can be a recipe for disaster, because we are creatures of habit, you know that. And once you start pushing the pace and you find yourself in a position where you're like, oh, I don't know if I got this in the tank. I don't know if my tape can handle this. Now, sometimes you're going to have to push the pace, just because if you don't, you may get knocked out. But this wasn't that type of situation. It was more of, okay, Tim Tszyu had to stick with his pace. It was going to cost him some rounds, but in the end, he banked on Mendoza slowing down and him taking over and wearing Mendoza down, and that's what he did. So I thought that was very good. G brought this up. Questionable power. Once he started breaking Mendoza down, he started landing clean punches, and he hurt Mendoza. And I know what round you're talking about, G. I think it was the 7th, maybe even again in the 11th, but I think it was the 7th round. It looked like he could get Mendoza out of there, but he didn't really go for the finish. And I don't know if that's a lesson for him, or if he just didn't want to press the pace, and if he was okay with going rounds, but he didn't really go for it, and he didn't get him out of there. But he landed some really good, clean power punches throughout the fight. So I don't necessarily know if he has pop like that. So that's just a question that needs to be answered. I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm saying I can't stamp it right now and be like, Tim Tszyu got that power. I can't. Tim Tszyu has that power. I can't say that yet. So the other thing is that I want to say about this fight is the question isn't for me whether Tim Tszyu is a good fighter. The question is whether he's a champion caliber fighter. And although he has the WBO belt, he didn't win it in the ring. They stripped Jermell of the belt and they gave it to him. Now, don't get it twisted. Rewind all the tapes. If you're a regular of this show, you know I refer to Devin Haney as the email champion. When a similar situation happened with Vasily Lomachenko, Vasily was awarded franchise, chose to fight Teofimo Lopez over Devin. Devin was his mandatory. They emailed Devin the belt. Did I give Devin credit for that? No, I did not. Similar situation. Tim Tszyu is Jermell Charlo's mandatory. Jermell moves up in weight to fight Canelo. They strip Jermell, email the belt to Tim Tszyu, and to me, he's an email champion. Yeah, he has the belt, but he hasn't won it in the ring yet. Devin won the belts officially when he beat George Kambosos. And that was because Vasily had lost to Teofimo Lopez. George Kambosos beat Teofimo Lopez, and then Devin went over there and beat him. So that's when Devin inherited all the belts. So my thing is, Tim Tszyu is a good fighter. He deserves to be a contender. He deserves his status. But is he a champion? I don't know that because he hasn't won the belt in the ring. Can he beat Jermell? Just because Canelo beat Jermell doesn't mean that Tim Tszyu can beat Jermell. Let's not forget Jermell's the same dude who beat Jason Rosado. He's the same one who beat Erickson Lubin, knocked him out with a clean uppercut. Yep, one punch. Knocked him out.
First. He did it first.
Yep. He's the same one who beat Tony Harrison.
Want to quote the great Ray J.
He said beat the great Tony Harrison. Knocked him out. And Tszyu got him after. And Tszyu stopped him too. But Jermell's victory was more impressive. And he did it first, like Trill said. Quote the great Ray J. Right? So let's not act like this dude is doing something we haven't seen Jermell do, and just because Canelo beat Jermell, that he's going to do it. Remember, Canelo had the firepower to make Jermell weary and make Jermell say, okay, I'm just going to try to survive. If Tim Tszyu has that power, then he'll succeed against Jermell. But if he doesn't, he's going to have to deal with Jermell's power. And let's not act like Jermell didn't touch Canelo up a little bit too when he did decide to fight, because he did. So y'all all sitting around making it look like Jermell's some chump. That's not the fight I saw. So Tszyu still has to prove he can beat Jermell. Tszyu still has to prove he can be the championship caliber fighter. He's better than Mendoza. That's a good victory to me because Mendoza's coming off of beating Fundora, but that's not a Jermell Charlo. And Jermell still got 3 belts. So like Trill said, I really do hope that's the next fight. Especially if the rumors are true that TC is going to rematch with Earl Spence. I really do hope Tszyu gets a shot at Jermell because that gives Tszyu an opportunity to become undisputed at 154. That sets him up to earn the belts the same way Devin did, become undisputed the same way Devin did, and shut people up the same way Devin did. That's the opportunity I want from Tim Tszyu. But right now, to me, he's a really good contender, but he still hasn't earned the belts in the ring. And I'm still at that point with Tim Tszyu.
Let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. You know you rock it with the Mighty Mighty Boxing Bros.
I feel it in my soul. Can you feel me? My money right. Came so cold in my cell, all them lonely nights. Stay 10 toes.